Good morning. Today is the 3rd of December, 2007. I am Aviva Lee, and due to circumstances beyond my control, just under the wire with my Monday morning recap for Israel 24/6 TV. On Tuesday, November 27, 2007, the European Court of Human Rights handed down a decision protecting the freedom of the press. This decision was a direct result of a suit filed by German journalist Mr. Hans Martin Tilak after he was detained in 2004 while police in Brussels confiscated hardware, software, and files from his offices. The court ruling stated that a journalist's right to refrain from disclosure of their sources, quote, could not be considered a mere privilege to be granted or taken away, end quote. And this past Friday in Italy, French President Nicolas Sarkozy and Italian Prime Minister Romano Prodi both witnessed the signing of a renewed pact between those two countries for the sharing of nuclear energy to be generated in France. The original accord was signed in 2005. Italy requires outside sourcing of its nuclear energy due to its official banning of nuclear power generation on its own soil since the 1986 nuclear disaster at Chernobyl. And yesterday was the International Day for the Abolition of Slavery. Here in Israel, in one of his official statements, Prime Minister Olmert marked the day and the need for perseverance by Israel to abolish slavery and human trafficking. Furthermore, he announced that the sovereign state of Israel will, in 2008, begin remembering this day by issuing official awards to various NGOs, government offices, public bodies, and/or individuals who make a contribution to the work against human trafficking, human enslavement, prostitution, forced labor, and illicit organ transfer. Yesterday, Ms. Tzipi Livni, Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Sovereign State of Israel, met with South Korean Foreign Minister Mr. Sang-min Soon. Among other items, the two discussed North Korea's commitment to dismantle its own nuclear weapons program, as well as the obligation of preventing the proliferation or transfer of elements of North Korea's nuclear program to countries in the Middle East. The two also renewed deliberations of the joint Israel-South Korea Economic Commission. And yesterday it was communicated by the Prime Minister's media advisor that on Sunday, December 2nd, Prime Minister Olmert informed the government that Foreign Ministry spokesman Mark Regev had been appointed as the Prime Minister's Foreign Press and Public Affairs Advisor in place of Ms. Miri Eisen. Mr. Regev's appointment was effective immediately. Prime Minister Olmert also expressed his appreciation for Ms. Eisen's work with the foreign media and wished both she and Mr. Regev well in their new endeavors. When Prime Minister Olmert met with Foreign Minister Sang-min Soon of South Korea, the Prime Minister emphasized the importance for all countries to adhere to the economic sanctions imposed against Iran, including those sanctions which bypassed the UN Security Council. And finally, at Mr. Olmert's cabinet meeting yesterday, ministers were briefed on the Annapolis conference. In part, Prime Minister Olmert had this to say, and I quote, "Israel has thus made the entire process subject to the most important thing for its citizens, security. Whoever wants peace must assure the security component, even if this is difficult to achieve and even if it requires considerable time. It is possible to draw great encouragement from the Annapolis meeting, both from its content and from the considerable participation by Arab countries with which Israel does not have diplomatic relations. A window was opened at Annapolis, which could, in the end, lead to normalization between Israel and a series of moderate, peace-seeking Arab countries. After Annapolis, I am hopeful that these countries will, in the first stage, open interest sections in Israel and begin to have economic ties with us. I know that several of them are interested in this." End quote. And for information concerning IDF operations this last week, Please listen to my breaking report, which was broadcasted live this morning, shortly after 6:30 a.m. And that concludes my Monday morning recap. I am Aviva Lee, in Jerusalem, reporting from room 903 for Israel 24/6. Thank you, and shalom.